right, so for today's lesson, all you need is a couch, a chair, anything that you feel comfortable that's sturdy enough to not move back and forth. If you have a limited range with knee flexion, or if you've had a surgery or any knee issues, maybe hold off on sitting up and down, especially if you have a difficulty with this. You can always modify by maybe standing behind the chair where the handle is, and then just coming up and down with a range that you're comfortable with. If you do not trust your balance, modification can be bringing your chair against the wall and staying near something that's very sturdy, like an island or a furniture that's bolted into the wall. Or just to play it super safe, again, just modifying what you're standing and just coming down to a range where you're comfortable while holding on to that sturdy surface. Yeah, but otherwise, this one's for all of you that have been sitting on the couch or at a really uncomfortable chair while working from home. And it wouldn't be Pilates if I didn't put my hair into a ridiculously terrible ponytail. So once it's up, we will get started. Oh, and you need your mat, of course. Okay, so we're gonna start with your figure four. Right leg goes over the left leg. You wanna make sure that your sit bones feel rooted down into your chair. You're sitting at the front edge of that chair. Okay, you're gonna keep the length in the back of the spine as you slowly hinge forward, just to open up your hips and feel the right piriformis stretch. I like to place my hands behind my ears and almost feel like someone's pulling the back of my neck, like I'm creating traction. For some reason, that helps me get more into my glute. That could just be me. And then flexing the ankle to get a little more pull there. And then go ahead and straighten and switch sides. So just finding that figure four. Each side is different. Maybe sitting up tall gets a really good stretch in the front of the hip. Otherwise, you can go ahead and start to hinge forward. Lengthening through the back of the neck, and again, you can pull. You just really want to feel like your sternum's leaning towards the wall in front of you. And then straightening to switch sides. Now a little variation with this one. You can continue to go into that figure four, or grab the knee with both hands and pull it to your opposite armpit as you sit upright. And then slightly twist towards that knee. Just getting some thoracic rotation here while still stretching out the glute. And then coming back to center, and then going to the other side. So just prepping you for some thoracic rotations that we will be doing very soon. And then back to center. Planting your feet down about hip distance apart. If you're like most people who think this is hip distance apart, maybe just go fist distance to start, and then make sure that the heels are underneath the knees. You're going to place your hands behind your head, interlacing your fingertips at the base of the skull. Okay, reach the sternum up towards the ceiling, root the sit bones down, and then inhale as you twist over towards the right. Exhale to pull back to center, and then inhale to twist towards the left. Exhale back to center. So with this particular stretch, you really want to think about your hips staying completely steady. You're going to try to avoid staggering your knees. That means doing this, right? You're going to imagine like there's a pillow in between your legs. Feel free to put that in there to keep your legs completely steady. So rotation is really coming from the thoracic spine, and you can feel the lengthening as you twist, rather than coming forward and twisting. It's going to feel very different. You also might feel more limited on one side than the other, and that's okay too. We'll go for two more. Inhale. Feel like you're rinsing yourself back out as you come to center, and then inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, lift your sternum up like you're proud. Let your head fall back. And then exhale, pull the front of the ribs to the back of the ribs as you slowly just curl over the ribs. Inhaling into thoracic extension. And then exhaling into thoracic flexion. Slightly bringing the elbows in towards each other. Inhaling, spreading those elbows apart. And then exhale, slightly dropping those elbows in towards each other. So just like a cat-cow for the thoracic spine here. And then one more. And then finding center, keeping your right hand behind your head. Go ahead and place the left hand down by your side. If you're on a chair, you can place it down by the leg chair. By the chair's leg. I guess I said it right. And then turn the palm forward. Start reaching the fingertips down towards the ground as you look towards that top elbow. Dropping the shoulder that's reaching. And then coming back to center. And again, inhaling as we reach the elbow, looking up towards the ceiling. And then exhaling, coming back to center. Okay, so we'll go for 2 more there. This should feel really nice. And then center. Thinking about that right sit bone reaching down to oppose the right elbow reaching up. And then center. And then one more time, reaching up. Center. Placing the left hand behind the head, reaching the right hand down towards the ground. You're inhaling to bend, exhaling to lengthen. Inhaling to reach down with the right fingertips, up with the left elbow, find some opposition, and then back to center. Okay. And you have 2. And center, 1 more. And center, rolling the shoulders back. Maybe you're letting your head rock side to side. Mine just popped. All right, and you're ready to get started. So feet are hip distance, fist distance apart, you choose. Your feet are parallel. You're gonna place your hands either in front of your chest if you feel comfortable there, or arms in front of you with your palms facing each other. You're going to brace your core, pull your abdominals slightly in, press the feet firmly down onto the ground, and then just simply sit all the way up. Controlling as you sit down, so you're pulling the abs in, keeping a slight tuck through the tailbone, and then slowly coming back up. So just coming up and down, making sure you're just gliding down rather than flopping, because that's not really going to work anything. Okay, seeing if you can keep your chest upright rather than falling down towards your knees. Okay, and then as you keep your chest up, still relaxing through your mid-back and keeping the lower abs pulling in, so you keep that slight tuck in the tailbone even as you're reaching your sit bones back to sit on the couch. For me, the hardest part is not lifting through my feet. I have really bad dorsiflexion in my feet. So a modification could be putting a foot underneath your heel to kind of support you as you come down. It makes a huge difference. I'm just gonna keep going like this because it makes my ankle stabilizers work and I really need that. And then we'll go for 1 more. Good. And now you'll open your legs out into second position. Knees in line with the second and third toe. So some people can really turn their feet out, but then their knees can't turn out that much because of the hip. So just try to find like a 45, like you're drawing a V from your pubic bone towards your knees. That should be enough. You're gonna ground all 4 corners of the feet down onto the mat, reaching your arms forward. Feel like the heels are gliding back towards your sit bones as you pull the navel in and lift all the way up. And then slowly sit all the way back down. Back up my feet for that one. Slowly coming up. And then slowly coming down. All right, I should have mentioned this the first time. You want to make sure that you're pulling up with those thighs as you're coming up rather than locking the knees. That's gonna help you keep your core engaged. That's also gonna help you feel that wrapping sensation of the inner thighs around the glutes. And we'll go for 4. 3, constantly feeling like your knees are pushing against plates. 2, to avoid any buckling of the knees. And then 1 more, coming down halfway and then pausing here. All right, see if you can tuck the tailbone just a little bit more and press the knees out. That should get more into the outer thighs. And then you're gonna slowly lift your right heel up and then slowly bring it back down. Goal here is to try to keep your hips at the same level as you just lift the heel and then lower the heel down. That's gonna put the weight on that left leg, so that left glute has to stabilize. You have 3, 2, 1 more, plant it down, press those knees out, scoop the abs in, lift the chest, and then bring the left leg up and down. Still keeping that outward pressure of the right outer thigh. Making sure the hips stay nice and low. You're feeling articulation through the foot as you lift and lower. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Heel comes down, maybe come down just a little bit more, and then lift both heels up and plant both heels down. Putting the heels down should really feel like work. You almost want to feel like there's a pedal on the heel and you're pushing it down. You're scooping your navel in, and you're really feeling those heels still try to glide in towards each other at the very end. Ooh, I almost lost my balance. Going for 4, 3, 2, and then 1 more. Coming all the way up. Thighs should be burning, slowly coming down halfway. Let's add those lateral bends. Right hand's gonna go on the inside of the right knee. Left hand's gonna go behind the head, and you're gonna reach down towards your toes as you look up towards the ceiling. And then slowly come back up. Reaching and center. You have 3, 2, and then 1 more. Center, right hand goes behind the head, left hand goes in front of the knee, and then you're reaching and coming back to center. Reaching and then back to center. You have 2. The light just blinded me. 1. Center, both hands behind the head, coming down just a little bit lower. You should feel like you're shaking, coming all the way up, slowly coming down. Let's now try a thoracic rotation. Center, up, down. Knees push apart, abs pulling, you're twisting. Center, up, and down. You have 2. Up, down, 1. Up, down, arms in front of you, little pulses down and up. The tiniest pulses, because you really feel those hamstrings and quads activate. You have 3, 2, 1, slowly sitting all the way back down. Oof, I'm sweaty. And then bringing your feet back to parallel. But really, I am. Okay, so double leg footwork. Shake out your legs, do a figure 4 if you need it. Whew. We're gonna go into single leg footwork. All right, so with this one, the variations for this are going to be either feet staggered, that way you have some balance. That the foot on the back is taking the weight, and that's the one that's doing work. Placing a foot on the leg that's staggered, that's going to keep you from using that leg completely, or keeping that leg up. That one is more advanced, and I do want you to still feel it on the leg that's working rather than the leg that's staying up. If you start feeling your hip flexor way too much, that kind of defeats the purpose of your brain thinking about your glutes. So then just go ahead and bring that leg down. Otherwise, if you can do pistol squats, do pistol squats. I'm not demonstrating that unless you don't want me to finish this video because I tore my ACL or something. All right, so I'm gonna start with my left leg, which is my weaker side. I'm gonna keep my feet fist distance apart as well as my knees. I'm gonna stagger my right foot forward. I'm gonna brace my core, and then I'm gonna slowly come all the way up, making sure I'm just using that left leg, and then slowly coming back down. Okay, coming up. You can also use your hands to press back if that makes you feel comfortable, and then arms come forward, up, and down, and then up. For me, it's really hard to not externally rotate my foot because I want to use my foot to direct my knee rather than use my leg muscles to keep my knee in alignment. So just see where you're trying to compensate and really think about that. Really try to put your mind there and ask yourself where or what you're trying to compensate for. You have 3, 2, 1 more, and then going to the other side. So finding that fist distance, finding the edge of your seat, and then staggering your legs, reaching the arms forward, and the variations where the arms are. As you come up, press the arms back, reach the arms forward as you come down, but still try to keep your chest lifted, keeping your hands steady if you'd like. Okay, you have a few more here. Go for 7. You saw my hips sway out, so you're really reaching back with that sit bone. 6, 5, 4, still finding some abs at the very top. 3, 2, and then last one here. And then coming all the way down. Whew. All right, so that was your footwork. Again, you can stretch it out. You can go for your figure 4. You can pull that knee in towards the chest to stretch it out. You pick whatever feels best for you. Maybe you were anxious and you got into your shoulders. Roll the shoulders back. Roll your neck out. Otherwise, I'm gonna grab a chair so I don't move this couch because I don't want to work too hard. I'll grab one right now. Okay, I think that works. Back it up against the wall so I don't go slamming into anything. And then go ahead and find your mat. If your chair doesn't have a cushion like mine, feel free to put something soft there. If you have a carpet, maybe you can put your mat up there. I'll see how it goes. Hopefully I feel like my feet are calloused enough for it not to hurt me, but we'll see. All right, so starting in that neutral bridge position, try to keep your knees right on top of your hips to start. Definitely move back a little bit more if this is too much flexion in the knees, or if you feel like you can't ground your sit bones down because your lower back is tight. Lengthening through the back of the neck, pulling the abs in, feet are parallel. Exhale to slowly peel all the way up. And then slowly come back down. So the first couple of times or a few times, maybe don't come up as high. You just really want to make sure that you can keep stability through the legs. They're coming straight up, no flopping, no caving. I'm a big external rotator, like I mentioned before. For me, it's really about trying to keep my feet from overworking. You're also gonna see my toes like go crazy. That's just where I put my stress. So before I start to make this harder, I just really wanna think about where my body should be and where I can work a little bit more in order to work a little bit less in the other area. You have 2 more, maybe coming up a little higher since we only have 2 more. Really finding those hamstrings working. And then 1 more, coming all the way up, holding with little pulses. The pulses should be coming from your calves, from your feet, pushing further into the chair. If you feel your calves, maybe relax your feet. Try to bring it more into the hamstrings and the glutes. You have 2, 1, hold, and then slowly peel all the way back down. Hugging your knees in towards your chest, and then just rocking side to side. Or stirring yourself like stew, that always feels a little bit better. And then switching to the other direction if that's what you did. Bringing your feet back onto the chair. You're now gonna go ahead and come out into first position. So heels together, feet slightly turned out. You almost wanna imagine like you have a pizza slice in between your feet. Your arms are coming down by your sides and you're just melting into the mat to find your neutral spine. Your abs will slightly pull in, then your hamstrings and glutes will continue to work to lift your feet, your hips up, finding more outer glutes, and then articulating all the way back down. Exhale to peel up, abs are still bracing, and then slowly come down. I should mention, everyone keep going, if your lower back starts to bother you, an option is always to just get rid of your chair and bring your feet down onto the mat. You can do everything we're doing on the chair without propping yourself up. If you have a softer surface, you're gonna feel a little more hamstring in bed. That's never bad as long as you're keeping it in your legs and not the lower back. I don't know how many you did, but I'll pretend I was counting and we'll go for 3, 2, and then 1 more, lifting up, holding, squeezing those inner thighs, coming down halfway, coming up all the way and opening out. Squeezing, halfway down, up and splitting. Squeezing, finding inner thighs, keeping those inner thighs active, pushing out. You have 4, 3, I'm shaking, 2, and then 1 more. Feet together, and then come all the way down. Maybe going for an active hamstring stretch here, holding the back of the leg, lifting it up, and then bringing it down, feeling length through the tailbone even here. 2 more. You can feel free to flex your ankle to get some calf. And then coming to the other side, holding the back of the leg, and then just reaching up. Ooh, that one's tight. 2, and then 1 more. All right, so we ended with our feet together, knees together. Let's go ahead and go there again. Arms are pressing down, abs are pulling in. It should feel like more work with the balance, more work with the inner thighs as you come up, and then hold at the very top. You're gonna go ahead and bring your right leg up into tabletop. Reach the right leg up towards the ceiling. See if you can come up a little higher while still keeping your hips squared. Mine were super and squared. Flex the ankle as you tap it down towards the chair, and then lift it right back up. Dorsiflexing the ankle, and then pointing as you come up. Dorsiflexing, and then lifting. You have 2, and then 1 more. Leg into tabletop, down, square those hips out, Bring your right leg up, left leg up. Reach it up towards the ceiling. Flex as you come down. Point as you come up. Flex, and then point. You have 3, 2, 1 more. Tabletop, heel comes down, square your hips out, abs pull in, and then you're slowly peeling down. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bring them in towards your chest. Get a good inner thigh stretch there. Feel free to open up into happy baby if you like that. My back's so tight, I'm just gonna stay here. This is my happy place. All right. And then stand on your back, bring your feet onto the chair. Actually, probably gonna move my chair the other way. I'm gonna start doing some ab stuff. I'm gonna try to bring more my body in here. The chair is just a prop. You can always turn it around, just use the couch again. All right, so I guess you can still see a bit of a chair. Take this as a rest time to get some stretches in. Okay, so I get on my mat here. I will never judge anyone for getting on a reformer very awkwardly anymore. Tailbone's gonna stay down. Okay, we're gonna find that neutral spine. Feel free to take some pelvic tilts if you need to get there. Actually, let's all do it. So exhale to find the belly button pushing down in towards the spine. Glutes should still be flaccid. And then inhale to kind of find the belly button pushing the pubic bone away. Rib cage stays away from the t-shirt. And you're just gonna alternate between those two motions, just feeling your pelvis slightly rock back and forth. I like imagine like there's a marble on my pubic bone, and I'm just very discreetly bringing it in towards my belly button, and then just kind of letting my pubic bone go back to the starting position so I can get another marble and stack it, whatever works for you. And then next time you push that pubic bone away and your sit bones are heavy, find your lower abs pulling in. So like you're trying to go into that imprint, but your pubic bone's pressing the other way, like it's really taut here. You should feel like you're holding your pee in and you're finding stability. You should still have that natural arch in your back. Feet are hip distance apart. Feel free to bring your hands facing each other if bringing your hands down is too much for your shoulders, like me. And then you're just gonna practice floating one leg up into tabletop while keeping the hips heavy, lowering it down, and then the opposite leg into tabletop. If that's too much, maybe just think about getting lighter on one side. This is me getting lighter on one side. It looks like I'm not doing anything, but I'm just thinking about the thought and the lightness. I can bring the work into my abs. And then as you breathe, what I just did, the ribs start to splay out. So just think if you can send your exhales and inhales into the back of the ribs. We'll just go for 2. And then 1. Move your knees side to side. Bring your right leg up into tabletop once you found center, and then bring your left leg up into tabletop. Bring your knees right on top of your hips if it's okay on your lower back. Find your imprint if that totally does not feel good for you. And then you're gonna go ahead and reach your right leg out and away. Pull it back in. Feel like you're pushing the door open with the left, and then pull back in. Exhale to push. Inhale to draw back in. Exhale, dropping those ribs in towards center, and then pulling back in. You have 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Both feet together. Find that imprint if you lost it, and that helps your lower back. Keep your neutral if you can, and exhale, extend both legs out, and then bring both legs back in. Finding that middle ground where you're finding your abs. So for some people, coming up too high is more hip flexor rather than abs, but if that helps you get your abs go there, if you can come down low without arching your back, Go there 2. You know your body a little bit better. You have 3. Finding opposition, so the belly button's pulling down as the feet go away. 2. And then 1 more. Feet come into tabletop, down onto the chair. And then move your knees side to side. So, for people who cannot bring their heads up because you have neck issues or shoulder issues, you will repeat that series as everybody else moves along. Hands can float up towards the ceiling. Feet are still in that chair. You're going to inhale for nothing. Exhale as you peel your head and shoulders off of the mat, bringing your arms down by your hips. Dropping your shoulders if you feel them coming into your ears. Sending your sit bones away from you, and then slowly peeling back down. Exhale to push up. Inhale to lower. If this doesn't feel good for your neck, feel free to bring your hands behind your head. Support your head as you lift, and continue to support your head as you lower. So it's supporting, not pulling, right? So you're still growing out nice and long as you come into your curl. Your sit bones are reaching away, and you want to feel like the ribs are like a mudslide coming down towards your back pockets. You have 3, 2, and then 1 more. Holding, left leg into tabletop, right leg into tabletop. Go ahead and slowly twist over towards the left, back to center, over towards the right, back to center, twisting towards the left, reaching the right leg out, and then twisting to the other direction. Good, seeing if you can keep your hips stable here. And I'm totally hitting the couch. Reaching, lifting higher, opening up the chest, and breathing, of course. So continue to go. People not lifting their head, you want to get some obliques. You can cross one leg over the other, and then exhale to slightly lift the sacrum up and then lower. That's going to get both sides of the abs switching there. Everyone doing their bicycles, you're still up there. You have 4, 3, 2, 1, twisting and holding, little pulses. 4, 3, 2, 1, twisting and holding. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then draw circles with those knees. Okay. Abs should be nice and warmed up. You can feel free to back up on that mat or push your chair away a little bit more. Ooh, my calves are on the edge of the chair. It's pretty brutal. Should put a cushion on this. Anyway, I'm suffering with all of you that don't have a cushion. Hands are going to reach up towards the ceiling, so I just slightly moved away from my chair because I know my hips are very tight. And we're about to come into some roll ups and roll downs and teasers. So I know I need some space so I don't cramp at my hip flexors. So adjust yourself wherever you need to go to feel successful with this next exercise. If you're not lifting your head, go through another round of bridges, maybe do some more reverse curls, find a stretch that's you like, whatever you want, take this time to do that now. Everyone else, we're lifting our hands up and letting our fingertips glide all the way back. I don't really care what's happening with your ribs here, just kind of relax there. Let your feet release tension. We're going to start floating our arms back up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to think about the exhale, pulling our rib cage back down so we're finding some neutrality in our spine. Once our fingertips are reaching up towards the ceiling, you're going to try to push that ceiling away and then push the floor down with the scapula. Push the ceiling away with the fingertips. You should feel like you're kind of like have bad posture. And then push the scapula back down. So just mobilizing the shoulders. Why? Because now when I ask you to find your neutral, you should find an in between of both of those. So you were just forming a mountain in between the thoracic, the scapula. And then when you were pushing your shoulder blades down, you were finding like a little like valley in between the shoulder blades. I want you to find the middle ground between both of those. And that's really where you want to keep your neutral, and then start thinking about drawing your ribs in towards each other. That's really going to get the upper abs working, like when you're curling up. And then your lower abs are going to pull in, so we're going to avoid any doming of the abs. On your next exhale, you're going to slowly peel your head and shoulders off of the mat and start lifting yourself up into a seated position. Exhaling, C-shaping through the lower abs, and then slowly peeling down. And then there you'll see if you need to move your chair more, if you need to back up more. I think I need to back up a little bit more. If that was completely awful, you couldn't get up, bringing your feet down on the floor makes it a little bit easier to come up. Okay. And makes it a little bit easier to come down. Now if that's still hard, coming up is harder than coming down. So roll onto your side and come up. And then just use the outside of the legs to kind of roll down. Sometimes even just bringing your hands on the outside of the legs to peel up helps for some reason, even though you're not actually pulling. So find whatever feels best for you and keep going. We'll go for one more. Slowly fall halfway back, lifting the chest and dropping the shoulders. Bring your right leg up, bring it back down, left leg up, bring it back down, and then slowly roll all the way down. If your legs are bent, just bring one leg up into tabletop and then the other, exhaling to roll back up. Slightly pressing back halfway, C-shaping through the lower abs. Left leg comes up first this time, right leg comes up next, and then slowly rolling all the way down. Okay, next time we roll up, we're gonna pause halfway. Bring the right leg up into tabletop and then the left leg up into tabletop. Reaching for those toes, widening through the collarbones, and then just holding, squeezing those inner thighs for 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lowering all the way back down. All right, so abs, glutes, those have worked. We're now gonna come onto our side for some arms. You can leave the chair where it is. Yeah, just keep it nearby for now. So for these next ones, you're gonna bring your hand in front of your chest, fingertips pointing towards your head. Knees are going to be together. You're gonna draw that right shoulder away from your ear. So you can keep the bottom hand down here, or around your stomach, up to you. You can see where we're going with this. On your exhale, you're gonna push up, and then you're slowly gonna control with your tricep as you come down. Exhale, pushing up, and then coming back down. If this is too much for your elbow, if you have any injury, maybe just take this time to stretch out your tricep, or do a tricep exercise that feels okay for you. Maybe bilateral stuff like push-ups will help. You have 5, 4, really trying to keep the collarbones open as you lower. 3, I like thinking about my elbow pulling back to keep my shoulder in place. 2, and then 1 more. Good. And now I'm gonna bring my left forearm, or my left elbow underneath my shoulder with my forearm on the mat. Feet are gonna come in a clown-like position. You can put your hand on your hip, behind your head, up towards the ceiling, whatever feels best for you. And then you're just gonna go ahead and press the forearm down, pull the left armpit down towards your hip, and then lift your hips up, and then lower down. Just finding that side plank. If you feel this in your neck, placing the hand behind the head kind of aligns the head better with the spine, which makes it easier on the neck. So feel free to go there if you'd like. Next time you're up, you're gonna hold. You're gonna find a clamshell. Try a little bit more. Find your clamshell and then lower down. Finding your clamshell and then lowering down. We'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then one more, lifting. Maybe reaching that leg up over the chair if you can at this point, and then lifting and lowering that right leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then one more. And returning down. Okay, and then switching to the other side. I am very sweaty, by the way. I need like a little towel or else, well, my shirt's already wet. I guess it's okay. So coming onto the side, I would blame it on the legs, but if you know me, you know I sweat a lot. Bringing yourself down onto the mat. Hand is facing your chest. You're stacked. Your knees are in flexion below the hip. And you're gonna exhale and press up and then slowly come back down. So really just trying to find that left tricep, working as you come down and working as you push up. I think we're on 5. So we'll go for 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and then one more. And coming down. All right, so bringing the right forearm down, right elbow underneath your right shoulder. I should say, if this is still too much and you finish stretching, come down to your side and you can do clamshells and leg abductions without necessarily coming up into the side plank. So you're gonna find your side plank-like position, and we're just gonna go ahead and bring the hand wherever you'd like. You're gonna exhale to push up with the hips, find your oblique, find your right lat, and then slowly lower down. Exhale to come up, and then down. This can come on my mat, but I'll just cut off my head. The wall's right there, so I might not be able to extend my leg. On your next one, come up and hold. Open for your clamshell, close as you lower. Lift, open, close as you lower. That. Maybe really feel both knees going away from each other to find that bottom glute a little bit more. You have 3, 2, and then one more lift, hold. Reach the leg away. I don't make it. I'll just pretend I'm lifting and lowering my leg for 10, 9, 8, at least I'm side holding the side plank. 6, and I'm cheating. My leg's on the wall. 5, 4, 3, here, I'll do it. 2, I'll be uneven. 1 more, and then lower all the way down. Come onto your knees, and then find your child's pose, prayer, stretch, whatever you call it. Let your hips go back towards your heels. Ideally, your butt's back there. My ankle's kind of messed up, so that hurts. So I'm just gonna kind of elevate my butt and reach my hands forward so I can get a stretch through at least my thoracic spine and my shoulders, which are the tightest part of me anyway. Letting your exhale drag your head down and just relax the shoulders so you feel widening through the back. And then let's go ahead ahead and come onto our tummies. Bring the hands right underneath the shoulders. Lengthen the legs. The tops of the feet are pressing down in towards the mat. You're going to slowly lift your chest up just to hover. Your abdominals are away from the mat. You're not coming up too high, just feeling a reach of the sternum and then slowly lowering down. So it's controlled just to open up the chest, finding some extension. Inhaling as you lift, and then exhaling as you lower. Almost feel like you're pulling your hands back through sand. That's going to make a big difference with how much you pull back with the lats and reach with the sternum. And one more lift up. If you can, lift yourself up a little bit higher to get more extension. All right, I'm kind of against the wall here, so I can't even reach my legs back. But you should look something more like this, more relaxed because my feet are crushed back here. And then slowly lower all the way back down. Hands go right underneath the shoulders, elbows are reaching back. You're gonna tuck the toes underneath your feet so they're reaching towards your shins. And then exhale, come all the way up. Inhale, pulling those elbows back, slowly lowering down. Exhale, pulling up as one unit. Feel free to come onto your knees if that's easier for you. Abs are pulling in, and then you're slowly descending down. One more, exhale as you push up. Okay. You can bring your feet slightly in towards you. You're gonna slowly walk back towards your feet, planting those heels down, dropping the head down, and move forward for you guys. Softening through the back of the knees, letting the head just drape down towards the toes, like someone's pulling your ponytail down towards the mat. Lifting the abs up. You're gonna lift the abs so much that you feel your feet push down towards the mat with opposition. You're gonna feel a slight tuck in the tailbone as you slowly articulate up, really feeling like you're heeling yourself back onto the wall behind you. Head will be the last thing to stack. And you're all done. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not the only sweaty mess right now. Yeah, and I'll think of something new for next week. Bye.